Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a recovering POAS addict. Oh, in case you were wondering, I was addicted to peeing on sticks. It's been 2.5 years since I peed on my last stick. See, I had done the whole successful career thing, the get married thing, so the obvious next step was the have a baby thing. And I had it all planned out, what stick to pee on when. At one point, I actually asked my husband to turn me upside down and lean me against the wall in a handstand position so that things stayed where they needed to for optimal fertilization potential. Because the ovulation stick I peed on that morning told me so. Finally, my little magic wand told me what I needed to hear. I was pregnant. And at 18 weeks, I found out that we were having a girl, and we decided to name her Daisy. And I was in love from day one. And the pregnancy was great. I had a little mommy brain here and there, but then the strangest thing started happening. I stopped sleeping. Started waking up at 2 and 3 in the morning. And after a few nights of watching Turbo Juicer 2000 infomercials, I did something that I hadn't done in years. I picked up my Bible. It's either that or Golf Digest. And, I'd been to church every once in a while, Christmas, Easter. But to be honest, I viewed God more like a vending machine. Put a couple prayers in, out came what I wanted, or at least the satisfaction of knowing that I did my duty as a good person. But when I read in those odd hours of the morning, it was like I was reading with this sense of urgency. Like I was studying for a final exam or something. I read about this God who was joyful, who cried and got angry, had these very real emotions. And I read verses like, "The joy of the Lord is my strength, and sorrow may last for a night, but joy comes in the morning. If you hope in the Lord, you will never be disappointed." I mean, you gotta admit it, the Bible's got some great one-liners. Anyway, at 23 weeks, I was laying there with a bunch of goop on my belly, waiting to hear little Daisy's heartbeat. And all I heard was silence. And the things that went through my mind. Like, it had to be my fault. What did I do wrong? And why would God allow this to happen after all that time I had spent, contributing to that vending machine in those odd hours of the morning? I deserve some sort of explanation. I had worked hard for this baby. And my husband, who was so sweet and encouraging, but he had never formed that bond that I had with Daisy. And so I just was alone in all that. And then the doctor tells me that I am supposed to deliver this baby that I fell in love with, that I had felt moving and growing inside of me, and there was just no way. And then on the day that I was supposed to deliver Daisy, I walked into that maternity ward, and I was so filled with resentment at those women that were gonna welcome their little bundle of joy into the world when every push, every contraction was gonna lead me closer to, facing her. And I was laying there waiting to be induced. And this verse just comes into my head. If you hope in the Lord, you will never be disappointed. And I'm like, really, God? Kind of disappointed here. Great timing. But it kept replaying over and over in my head until I finally got it. My hope wasn't in God. It was in those sticks I peed on. It was in that baby. It was in my schedule and my plans, but it wasn't in God. And the minute I realized that, I was able to just release my death grip that I had on my life. And I said, here, God, take it. And in that instant, I was overcome with the strangest emotion, joy. I've been happy before, right? When it made sense to be happy. But this was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. I was joyful. My husband thought I was nuts. But the joy of the Lord was my strength when I held and kissed every little finger and every little toe. And when I said goodbye to my Daisy. So, it's been 2.5 years since I peed on my last stick. And there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about her. Sometimes I cry uncontrollably about this baby that I loved and never got a chance to know. But when I finally came to the end of myself, that's when I put my hope in God. And that's when we got the phone call. I'd love for you to meet the newest member of our family. Come here. This sweet little girl was left on the steps of a church in Africa. And my husband's friend asked if he had ever considered adopting. And there was a note left with her that said that her name was Furaha, which in Swahili means joy. Sorrow may last for a night, but joy comes in the morning.